So I actually managed three things on the same day. I won Linares, and this not only did I win it, but I won it for the second time in I don't know how many attempts, maybe 7 or 8 attempts. So it's not even been one of my most successful events. So after a long time, I'd won Linares again. I'd become world number 1 again, and somehow everything came together on the same day. That was a very pleasant feeling. I'll show you the most important game from Linares. This was my win against Magnus Carlsen. E4, E5, knight f3, knight c6. Magnus is someone who can play almost anything in chess. He can grasp a position very quickly, and as a result, his repertoire is incredibly broad. So I still didn't know where exactly he was going with this. But b5, bishop b3, d6. This didn't come as a surprise, because the previous year in the Tal Memorial, for instance, he had played quite a few games here. But c3 castles, h3, knight a5, I hadn't quite expected. The good news is, because there was a game between Leko and Mamedyarov there, I had looked at the line, and as a result, I had actually had at least one idea. So bishop c2, c5, d4, knight d7, and now d5. I had also done some preliminary work. I think after knight b6, knight bd2, I had checked the lines after f5 and decided that they were good for white. This is useful because unless you know all the sub-variations, it's difficult to enter in a line. But luckily I had checked this because of this game. g6, b4, takes, takes, knight c4, takes, takes, bishop b3. Mamedyarov, in fact, Leko actually went bishop h6 against Mamedyarov. But as you'll see, I don't want to play this move yet. So I went bishop b3 instead. He went knight b6 because potentially the pawn could become loose here. If after bishop d7 I take and go queen c2, this pawn could become weak. Knight b6 he went back, bishop e3, bishop d7, rook c1. In some cases I might even be able to go rook c6 as an exchange sack, but basically the idea is just to play healthy natural moves. Black played rook c8. Excuse me. Its problem is f5 fails to knight takes e5, of course. d5, d6 check, discover check, and sorry, that missed the mark. And he went rook c8, rook takes c8, bishop takes c8, queen c2, bishop d7, rook c1. White's making lots of very direct moves, and already because of the threat of queen c7, black is forced to play knight a8. But even so, having achieved all this, if though white is well ahead in development, if black makes two moves, queen b8 and rook c8, then he'll begin to neutralize white's advantage. That's because the pawn structure is rather static. Therefore, I thought for a while and decided that the key to the position was these squares, the dark squares on the king side. I go queen d2. He went queen b8, and now bishop g5.